Let's talk about a feeling. You know the one. It's that quiet little hum in the back of your mind, that constant, low-grade anxiety that whispers you're just not moving fast enough. Well, today, we're going to take a closer look at that feeling and figure out where it really comes from. But before we go any further, I want to start right here. Seriously, let this just sink in for a moment. You're not falling behind. It might feel like you are with every fiber of your being, but that feeling, well, it isn't the whole story.
So let's get into it. What exactly is this feeling of falling behind? It's that sense of being out of sync, right? Kind of like you missed a memo that everyone else got about how life is supposed to go.
And it shows up in a few very specific ways, doesn't it? The years, all of a sudden, feel shorter. The expectations of what you should be doing by now, they just feel heavier. And of course, when you look around, it seems like everyone else is just cruising along, doing totally fine.
Now here's where the big shift happens. When we're kids, progress is super simple, right? You turn 16, you get a driver's license. You're 18, you graduate high school. It's clear. But then, somewhere along the way, that straightforward timeline just kind of vanishes.
We basically trade in one system for another. We go from life measured by age, which is the same for everyone, to life measured by milestones. The problem is, we still act like this new milestone clock is universal, like we're all supposed to be hitting the same marks at the exact same time. And that's the trap.
And these are the new measurements, aren't they? The big ones. Our career path, our relationship status, how financially stable we are, and that big fuzzy one, whether or not we have a clear direction. It's like we're all carrying around this invisible checklist that no one ever actually gave us.
Okay, so that covers the what, but let's dig into the why. Why does time itself feel like it's speeding up, making all this pressure feel even worse? Well, it turns out our brains are doing something pretty fascinating behind the scenes.
Think about it. As our adult lives settle into these routines, the same commute, the same weekly tasks, the same rhythm, our brain starts to get really efficient, almost a little too efficient for our own good. And this is what it's called time compression. Your brain basically goes, okay, yep, seen this before, done this before. No need to file a detailed report. It just lumps all the similar routine experiences together. So the more routine your life is, the fewer distinct new memories your brain bothers to make.
And the result of that is that, whoa, where did May go feeling? The weeks just blur into this one long, continuous stretch. And that sensation of time just slipping away only fuels that anxiety that we're not keeping up.
So let's put these two ideas together. Internally, our brains are compressing time, making it feel fast. And externally, we're judging ourselves against these arbitrary milestones. This combination creates a really powerful illusion, what I call the myth of a universal pace.
Which brings us to probably the most important point of all of this. That feeling of being behind, it's just that. It's a feeling. It's not a fact. In reality, it's a signal of something else entirely.
That feeling is a sign that you're comparing. You're taking your own raw, unedited, behind-the-scenes footage with all the doubts, the wrong turns, the slow days, and you're holding it up against someone else's perfectly curated, perfectly edited highlight reel.
And here's the even deeper layer to it. We're not just comparing what other people have. We're comparing how quickly they seem to have gotten it. We've somehow convinced ourselves that there's a right speed for life. But pace is deeply personal.
So this leads us to the big question, right? What do we do about all this? How do we break free? Well, it starts by changing the questions we ask ourselves and, finding our own rhythm.
This is the question, isn't it? The one that pops into your head late at night. Am I where I should be? That word should is just loaded with judgment. It assumes there's one right path, one right place to be. It's basically a recipe for anxiety.
But what if we just swapped it? What if instead we asked this question? This one isn't about achievement. It's about alignment. It's so much gentler. It's about finding progress that feels right for you, not one that just looks right to everybody else.
And to fight back against that time slipping away feeling, we can actually do something. First, just get it in your head. Routine is what squishes time. Second, understand that new experiences are what stretch it back out. So third, you just have to add tiny doses of novelty to your week. It doesn't have to be some huge life-changing trip. Just try a new cafe. Take a different way home from work. These little things create new memories and literally stretch your perception of time.
So where does all this leave us? Well, it leaves us with, hopefully, a quieter and more honest way of looking at our own lives. It's about learning to live without a script.
And so, we end right where we started. I want you to hear this one more time. You're not late, you're not early, you are exactly where you are, and that means you're precisely on time for your own life. Because in the end, that's what this is all about. You're learning how to write your own story, without a script to follow. It's a slow, sometimes messy, but pretty incredible process. And that brave act of just figuring it out, that can never ever be measured by someone else's clock.